In this video, we'll go over the official numbers on the average income by age, gender, race, and educational background in the US. Wherever the data is available, we'll go over splits across all of these categories so you can compare how your income stacks up as closely as possible. Just a few things to note before we jump into the data. First, all of these numbers are sourced from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they supply all income in pre-tax numbers and use weekly figures, so average income made over a period of a week. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to multiply all weekly income figures by 52, because there are 52 weeks in a year, to get an idea of the average yearly income. This won't be an exact science because income can vary across the year, but this should be a pretty good approximation. All of the data that we're discussing is for full-time workers only, which the Bureau of Labor Statistics defines as anyone working at least 35 hours a week. The final point I want to quickly make before we jump into the numbers, when we talk about average, we're talking about the median, not the mean. Using the mean definition can skew the averages towards very high income earners, even if they're only a small fraction of the population. So for this context, median makes a lot more sense. Let's start with the overall income averages, and then we'll break it down by age, gender, race, and educational background. In the fourth quarter of 2020, which is the most recent data we have available at the time of me making this video, there were just under 112 million full-time workers in the US. Across all of those workers, the average annual income was $51,116. This includes both salaried and hourly workers, with hourly workers representing about 60% of the total workforce. The Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't report on hourly rates for this population, but if you assume a 40-hour work week and 2 weeks off a year, $51,116 roughly translates to about $25.56 an hour. Fun fact, a quick way to calculate annual income from an hourly rate is to double the hourly rate and then add 3 zeros. So if you make $25 an hour, double that to 50, add 3 zeros, that's $50,000 you make a year, assuming a 40-hour work week. And to go from an annual income to an hourly rate, just divide by 2,000. So $50,000 divided by 2,000 is 25. Breaking it down by gender, men make up about 55% of the total workforce, while women make up the remaining 45%. Men showed a higher average income of $55,588 per year, while women made about $9,000 less on average, for an average income of $46,592 per year. This stat is the foundation of the gender pay gap argument. Said another way, this data shows that women make on average 84 cents for every dollar that a man makes. It is definitely important to remember, however, that these numbers are showing the overall workforce. We're not breaking it down by age or industry or experience level. Whether you agree with it or not, there is a societal expectation for women to take time off of their careers and stay home and raise children, while men are generally expected to continue working, furthering their careers and gaining experience, which in theory leads to higher pay. That's why there's really two components to tackling the gender pay gap. First, ensuring companies are paying the same wages for the same positions, regardless of gender, which I think we can all agree on. And second, implementing programs and changing cultural norms to allow women to not be the default caregivers if that's something that they don't want to do. Okay, moving on to average income by age. Starting with age 16 to 19, the average annual income was $26,156, or roughly about $13.08 an hour if you assume a 40-hour work week. Keep in mind, this data only includes full-time workers, so don't compare yourself too harshly if you're still in high school working 10 hours a week at the local fast food joint for a bit of extra pocket money. Split by gender, men in this age group make $28,236 a year on average, and women make $22,776 a year. Moving on to age 20 to 24, the average annual income jumps up a bit to $32,916, which translates to about $16.46 an hour. Consistent with the overall trend we've seen so far, men make slightly more at $34,008 a year, while women make $32,032 a year. Next, from age 25 to 34, this is when most college grads are entering the workforce, so we can expect to see the income jump up quite a bit, which is exactly what the data shows. Over 27 million workers fall into this age category, and the average annual income is $47,268, or about $23.63 an hour. On average, men at this age make $50,336 a year, while women make $43,836. This is also the time people typically start to have children, so we can expect the gender pay gap to increase as we move up the age groups, as more and more women stay home to raise children while men continue working and furthering their careers, gaining experience, and ultimately increasing their compensation. And from age 35 to 44, this is exactly what the data shows. The average overall income in this age group was $56,056 a year, which translates to roughly $28.03 an hour, assuming a 40-hour work week. Men at this age make an average of $60,126 per year, while women have an average annual income of $50,960. Moving on to age 45 to 54, I think some people are actually surprised to find out that this is the average worker's peak for annual income. I think we expect our income to consistently rise all the way up until retirement as we gain more experience, but the data actually shows that the average American worker earns the most money in their late 40s to early 50s. The average overall income in this age group is only slightly higher than the previous age group at $57,824 a year, which roughly translates to about $28.91 an hour. The average man at this age makes $64,064 a year, while the average woman makes $51,064 a year. From age 55 to 64, the average income starts to decrease, although it's still relatively high compared to the young age groups, at $57,668 a year, which translates to about $28.83 an hour. This is also the age group where the gender pay gap is the largest, with men making on average $63,544 a year and women making roughly $50,232 a year, which is about a $13,000 difference. Finally, at age 65 and over, considering the average retirement age in the US is 64, many, if not most, people in this age group are retired. For the people who remain full-time workers, it's usually for either one of two reasons. Either they love their job and want to continue working for as long as possible, or they unfortunately don't have enough money saved to comfortably retire. I think the latter group is probably more common than the former, so it makes sense to see the average income drop to $54,132 a year, which translates to about $27.07 an hour. Split by gender, that's $58,240 a year for men and $49,816 a year for women. Next, let's look at the average annual income in the US by race and ethnicity. Similar to the gender pay gap, there are a lot of socioeconomic and cultural reasons for income differences among the various races and ethnicities, but the goal of this video is not to explain why, but rather to give an overview of the data that we have available. I'm using the exact labels provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and just note that they don't report on all races and ethnicities, just some of the more common ones, so this is not a complete picture. The four groups included in the Bureau's report are white, Black or African American, Asian, and Hispanic or Latino. Looking at the first group, white, the average overall income was $52,364 a year, or roughly $26.18 an hour. For a reference point, at the very beginning of this video, I mentioned the average overall income, regardless of age, gender, race, or anything else, for the average US worker was $51,116 a year. So the average income for the white population is just slightly above that. Consistent with every other data point we've seen so far, white men make on average more than white women at $57,616 a year and $47,424 a year, respectively. When splitting by both race and age, the Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't get as detailed, so there are only three categories. The first is age 16 to 24, and white Americans who fall into this age group make on average $32,188 a year. The next group covers a very large age range from 25 to 54. White Americans at this age make an average of $53,872 a year. And then finally, white Americans age 55 and above average $58,552 a year. The next race reported on by the Bureau of Labor Statistics is Black or African American, and overall this group makes $41,184 a year on average, which is about $20.59 an hour. This is lower than both the white population and the overall averages. Black or African American men make an average of $42,120 a year, while women make an average of $40,300 a year. Split by age, the 16 to 24 age group makes an average of $29,952 a year. The 25 to 54 age group makes an average of $42,068 a year, and the 55 plus age group makes an average of $47,476 a year. The third racial group that we have data for is Asian. This group reports the highest average annual income of the four groups at $65,572 a year, or $32.79 an hour. This is a huge jump compared to the overall U.S. worker average of roughly $51,000 a year. Split by gender, on average, Asian men earn $75,764 a year, while Asian women earn $56,732 a year. Split by age, the 16 to 24 age group earns an average of $39,832 a year. The 25 to 54 age group earns an average of $70,044 a year, and the 55 plus age group earns an average of $59,748 a year. This is a much sharper decline than the other race and ethnicity groups, although the actual dollar amount is still quite high. Finally, the fourth group is the Hispanic or Latino population. Just to note, the Bureau of Labor Statistics uses the ethnicity definition for this population, which is a separate definition than race. So it's possible for someone to ethnically identify as Hispanic or Latino, but still racially identify as white, for instance. The average overall income for this population is $38,584 a year, which roughly translates to about $19.29 an hour, making it the lowest earning group of the four groups that we have data available on. Split by gender, Hispanic or Latino men make an average of $39,988 a year, while women make an average of $36,712 a year. And then by age, the 16 to 24 group earns an average of $30,680 a year, the 25 to 54 group earns an average of $40,508 a year, and the 55 plus group earns an average of $40,612 a year. The final major demographic that we're going to look at is educational background. Essentially, the Bureau of Labor Statistics defines this as the highest level of education achieved. This dataset includes only workers who are aged 25 and over, since the majority of someone's educational achievement is completed by this age. For full-time workers who did not finish high school and did not go back to complete something like a GED, the average annual income is $31,616 a year, or about $15.81 an hour. The Bureau of Labor Statistics also includes this information cut by gender, so men who fall into this category make an average of $33,644 a year, while women make an average of $27,508 a year. The next category looks at workers whose highest education achieved is a high school diploma, or an equivalent certificate like a GED. The average overall income in this group is a good bit higher, at $40,612 a year, which translates to about $20.31 an hour. Split by gender, that's $45,968 a year on average for men, and $34,580 a year for women. Next, the average annual income for workers who've completed some college, like an associate's degree, but not a full 4-year degree like a bachelor's degree, is $47,684 a year, which translates to about $23.84 an hour. For men in this category, they earn an average of $54,028 a year, while women earn an average of $41,132 a year, so a pretty large gap. For full-time workers who've earned a bachelor's degree but no additional degrees beyond that, the average overall income jumps up significantly to $66,716 a year, which translates to about $33.36 an hour. Split by gender, that's $78,520 a year for men and $58,240 a year for women. Obviously, this will vary a lot by industry, but these numbers can be used to help determine whether earning a bachelor's degree will be a good return on your investment. If it costs you $30,000 to go to college for 4 years, but you get to earn a salary of $70,000 a year because of your degree, it might make sense to pursue a bachelor's degree. Of course, the opposite could be true too if those numbers are reversed. Your actual situation will depend a lot on your tuition fees, your average starting salary for your industry, how much you can make if you don't go to college, among many other factors, but this is pretty much how you should be thinking about your decision. And then finally, the average income for workers who've earned an advanced degree, like a master's or a PhD, is $84,604 a year, which is about $42.30 an hour. Split by gender, this is an average of $98,644 a year for men and $74,828 a year for women. I hope this video was interesting to you guys and give you some idea of how you stack up compared to other Americans of your similar age, gender, race, and educational background. I'm a total data nerd, so it was really fun to dive into these reports and put this video together for you guys. There are many other very important factors that the Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't go into too much detail on, but can have a huge impact on wages, and that's mostly location and industry. So keep in mind that this really doesn't necessarily represent the full picture. I'll link the full report, which I pulled all of my data from, in the description below if you guys want to check it out. As always, please be sure to like this video for the YouTube algorithm, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.